All right, welcome to Chef's Take. I'm your host, Michael Zavlaris, today bringing you Week 4 predictions and Week 3 recap. Last week's predictions, everybody took a massive shit. Sal was the only one who had a record over 500 this week. He went 9 and 7. I went 7 and 9. Vicente went 6 and 10. Matt, god fucking damn, dude, you went 4 and 12. Anthony went 7 and 9, and Las Vegas went 7 and 9. Not often you see the house lose. Anyway, let's get right into it with the Eagles. So, September is just about done, and this is what we have to say about the Eagles. 3-0 in September. Each week of the NFL season, the Eagles had at least one award. Week 1, Zech McPherson wins Special Teams Player of the Week. Week 2, Darius Slay wins Defensive Player of the Week. Week 3, Brandon Graham wins Defensive Player of the Week with 2.5 sacks and a forced fumble. And Jalen Hurts, an MVP candidate, has won NFC Offensive Player of the Month. That's the Eagles right now. We're the only undefeated team in the league following Miami's loss yesterday. And let me talk about this real quick. Tua suffered a nasty injury yesterday. He definitely took some more head trauma. Why was he cleared to play yesterday? I don't know. But he was discharged from the hospital. He should be traveling back with the team the same night, which is actually supposed to be bad for you given the elevation and the pressure it puts on your brain. So I don't know why he got discharged so quickly. Tua came out today and said he's doing a lot better, and thank you all for the support, thoughts, and prayers. So hopefully he makes a good recovery because that is something you don't want to see. Yesterday it was bad. So I hope Tua recovers 100%, and I hope the Dolphins get punished. First, what is up with that Dolphins franchise anyway? You know, someone I know got into a Twitter battle with someone. It was a Dolphins fan talking about how some college student filmed their walkthroughs, and they were saying that the Bengals should have their first round pick forfeited. And this person I know made a really good clapback saying that, like, if they should be getting a first round taken away from them, then the Dolphins should be getting far much worse given that everything that has been going on with them. They were allegedly bribing Brian Flores to purposely lose games, and each game he would lose, I believe the owner would pay him 6 figures. Not only that, but illegally tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. And now them clearing Tua, who was clearly concussed after Sunday's game against the Bills. You clear him to play in the second half, which was not supposed to happen, or should I say, should not have happened. Everybody in the NFL was saying that, and there's an open investigation going on. And then you clear him to play on Thursday, and then he almost just fucking died. Let's just put it that way. He's lucky he's not dead. Because that can fucking kill you. Having 2 concussions, especially like nerve damage, in those 4 days, that could kill you. My brother, Anthony, he suffered a nasty head injury. He has to treat his head like a fucking egg now. Because if he has another bad hit in the head, he's fucking done. So, that hit close to home, and this should have been taken really serious. Like, this shit is not a joke. Miami, I don't know what the fuck was going on with them, why they thought it was a good idea to have their quote-unquote franchise quarterback play despite these severe injuries. Anyway, like I said, hopefully Tua makes a full recovery. He's he's a rising star right now. He's doing really good this year with him finally having good weapons. So him making a full recovery would be great. Anyway, back on the Eagles. So we're the only undefeated team left in the league. Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate. Before the season started, he was plus 2,500 to win MVP. Now his odds spiked to plus 800, which I believe is second or third. But Josh Allen is still the favorite to win MVP. But it's still great to see Jalen Hurts become an MVP candidate right now. It's great to watch. I remember when he was drafted 3 years ago, when he was drafted 2 years ago. Not many people liked the pick. I like the pick. I liked Jalen Hurts when he was in college. Uh, he was my that year. He was my favorite prospect. I've always loved dual threat quarterbacks. Michael Vick, one of my favorite players. Matt Vicente, you know this. And the 2020 draft, I was only concerned about two things. One, who are the Eagles going to pick? I wanted us to get CeeDee Lamb, but we know what happened. And where would Jalen Hurts land? And sure enough, we picked him in the second round. I was one of the few people who actually liked the pick. And I hate sounding self-centered, but it's true. Not many people liked the pick. A lot of people were saying, oh my God, we really invested a second round pick on a backup quarterback as well as a gadget quarterback, because when he was drafted, there were talks of him being like a Taysom Hill type player. Now, he's gone from being widely criticized and being a potential gadget player to now possibly being the franchise quarterback. It's impossible to hate this dude unless you are a diehard Wentz fan. And I'm sorry you guys had to see what happened to Carson in Washington. Some things never change. Carson still holds on to the ball way too long. Every other quarterback, like, granted, his offensive line is terrible, but he still had enough time to get the ball off. He was always a quarterback who wanted to go for the big play and never wanted to throw the ball away. Pat McAfee had to watch him for an entire year, and he coined the nickname Cardiac Carson because he will give you a heart attack when he plays. And I strongly agree with that. But Carson is not on the team now, so let's stop talking about him. The Eagles do play against Dougie P on Sunday. He should, and I think he will, get a standing ovation for all he's done for the city of brotherly love. It's unfortunate that we got rid of him, but hey, I like Nick Sirianni too. But it should be nice to see Doug Peterson on Sunday. Unfortunately, we're not going to see Boston Scott or Avonte Maddox in uniform. Hopefully, Christian Kirk is the slot receiver, and Avonte Maddox is the nickel corner. So he won't be. I honestly think, regardless, you should have Darius Slay on Christian Kirk because he shut Justin Jefferson down. Every number one receiver he played against, he shut down. He shut down Terry McLaurin, and he shut down Justin Jefferson, who was supposed to be the best in the league this year. So I can care less if Darius Slay's not a nickel corner. You should put him on, what's his name? Christian Kirk. There is Marvin Jones too. You can put him on Marvin Jones since they were teammates for so many years. That wouldn't be a bad option. Another option could be bringing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson down into the nickel because he played a lot of nickel back in New Orleans, and he was actually really solid there. So putting him at corner wouldn't be bad, and having Kayvon Wallace back at safety wouldn't be bad either. He needs some fucking playing time. I don't even know what kind of player Kayvon Wallace is. All I know is that he's a special teams guy now. We haven't really seen him at the safety position yet. And some people were comparing him to Brian Dawkins, which I thought was stupid, just because he was a safety we drafted from Clemson. That's it. Would I love for him to be the next Dawkins? Of course. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But I'm rooting for him. So Boston Scott is out too, like I mentioned. So Trey Sermon will be making his Eagles debut on Sunday. Trey Sermon played for the Niners. He's a power back. The Niners released him. I figured we would swoop him up because we don't have Jordan Howard, who is our running back, who is our power back, and we didn't have one. I thought Trey Sermon would fit that role perfectly. And on top of that, he did play with Jalen Hurts back in Oklahoma. So there's some chemistry there. So we'll see how he does. But I remember, yeah, we just need more help at running back. Sanders is good, but we just don't have that downhill runner. Right now, Jalen is our power rusher, power running back, I should say. So we'll see what happens. But overall, right now, I'm happy with the Eagles. 3-0, cannot complain. Jalen is a MVP candidate right now. There's already talks about the Eagles possibly formulating a plan to extend Jalen. He is currently on the third year of his 4-year rookie deal, so he's not eligible for a contract extension yet. But some people are mentioning that he will possibly get a similar contract to Kyler Murray, which is a 5-year, $230 million deal in which Jalen would get an average of $46 million a year. Gosh, I'm good at math. All right. Anyway, on the other hand, we could very well be losing our coordinators after this season. Shane Steichen will most likely get a head coaching job. Brian Johnson, the quarterback's coach for us, may very well get a job too, because look how well Jalen Hurts developed since we hired him. And Jonathan Gannon too. I mean, whether you like him or hate him, our defense is looking pretty good now. The only thing that pisses me off about Gannon is that he has Hassan Reddick, who is a pass rusher, who has been getting double-digit sacks the past few years, and you drop him back in coverage. Makes no fucking sense. Don't know why that's going on, but whatever. So, enough about the Eagles. Let's get right on to Week 4. Because that's what you guys came here for. I don't know why else you'd be here. Miami at Cincinnati. This game was yesterday on Prime Video. Vicente was the only one that picked Miami. I know Miami was undefeated and Cincinnati was struggling 1-2, but honestly, I just thought Cincinnati was the better team, and sure enough, they did win the game. Thank God Jamar Chase finally got some fantasy points for me because he was selling yesterday. So, off the bat, Vicente's 0-1. Love to see it. I'm such a hater. Next, we have Jacksonville at Philly. It's supposed to be a rainy game. Like I said, Avonte Maddox and Boston Scott are going to be out. And it's going to be like a rainy game. I don't know who is going to guard Christian Kirk. I think it should be Darius Slay because he's been on lockdown. But at the same time, I won't blame the team if they have Darius Slay guarding his former teammate in Marvin Jones. So it can go either way. But everybody across the board is picking Philly. Next, we have Minnesota at New Orleans. According to Sal, he told me that Minnesota is missing a few key players on the secondary, but New Orleans will be without Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas. So there's that. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but Sal, myself, Vicente, and Vegas are picking Minnesota to win this game. Matt and Anthony are picking New Orleans. We'll see what happens. I thought about picking up Chris Olave in fantasy because I thought that'd be a good pickup, but unfortunately someone beat me to it. Oh well. Next we have Cleveland at Atlanta. Everybody across the board has Cleveland. Shouldn't be a question, honestly. Next we have Washington at Dallas. Dallas defeated the Giants. Cooper Rush has not lost a game as a starting quarterback. So, is Dak shaking in his boots? We don't know. How would I know? I don't fucking know him. But Dallas is looking pretty good with Cooper Rush. Uh, Vicente and Sal are the only ones picking Washington here. Everyone else, myself included, are picking Dallas. Next, we have Seattle at Detroit. I don't know what the hell is going on with Seattle. I mean, they just flat out suck. Everyone across the board has Detroit here. So now Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift are not going to be playing. They have both been ruled out. So Jamal Williams would be getting the start. I picked his ass up in fantasy. So he's been doing, even with DeAndre Swift playing, he's been getting at least double-digit points every game. Like, because here's how it works. DeAndre Swift breaks off a 50-yard run, and then Jamal Williams caps it off in the red zone. That's how it works. So now Jamal Williams looking like he's going to carry on he's going to be on the field all 3 downs. Wouldn't be a bad pick. But everyone is going with Detroit here. Next, we have Tennessee at Indianapolis. Tennessee just fucking stinks. They're terrible. And the Colts just beat the Chiefs. So Sal and Matt this week are going to be the only ones picking Tennessee. Vicente, myself, Anthony, and Vegas are picking Indianapolis. Next, we have Chicago at the Giants. Justin Fields, I know he has a terrible offensive line, but Justin Fields is actually playing like shit. Like pure shit. Let me look at his stats real quick. Oh god, my fucking internet, dude. Yeah, that's another thing. My internet. Hurricane Ian, we're getting the side effects of Hurricane Ian right now. So it's like really windy and rainy where I'm at. And because of that, the internet is out. And Anthony is the only one in the fucking house that has internet. I can't get even 1 bar. He's the only one that has the fucking internet in the house. So he's sitting there chilling, watching Netflix. And I'm sitting here making this video for you guys. So you're welcome. Alright, let's take a look at Justin Fields' stats. Jesus. Alright. Oh my god. Through 3 games, Justin Fields has 297 passing yards. He's only completed 51% of his passes, has thrown 2 touchdowns to his 4 picks, and ran for 95 yards. Justin Fields, ladies and gentlemen, is not even averaging 100 passing yards a game. 99 is what he's averaging. That's fucking terrible. And the Giants look like a pretty solid team, believe it or not, with Brian DeBole, even though they lost to the Cowboys. So, Matt is the only one picking Chicago here. Justin Fields, I was rooting for him. I know he doesn't have a good receiving core of the offensive line, but I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a terrible stat line. That's awful, actually. God damn. So, Matt's the only one picking the Giants here. Next, we have the Jets at Pittsburgh. Zach Wilson will be playing this game after missing multiple weeks with an MCL sprain he suffered against the Eagles in the first preseason game. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. But Sal is the only one picking the Jets here. Everyone else is picking Pittsburgh. I just hope they get Mitch Trubisky out of there at quarterback. Dude is missing wide open players. Like, Deontay Johnson and George Pickens are wide open, and Mitch Trubisky chooses to throw the fucking check down. Get him the fuck out of there. Put Kenny Pickett in. It wouldn't hurt at this point. So, I don't even... Put the kid in. He will do a lot better than Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I thought he would be able to do better with the Steelers, but no. Same old fucking Mitch Trubisky. So, Matt's the only... No, not Matt. Sal is the only one that has the Jets here. Next, we have Buffalo at Baltimore. Lamar Jackson right now is honestly looking like the MVP favorite. Right now, if I had to give you my top 3 in no specific order, it's Lamar, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. They're all playing lights out right now. So I have no idea what the injury report is looking like at the moment. Because I know the Bills. The Bills, their secondary took a massive hit last week. They were missing Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde is out for the year. They're missing a lot of players. So, no, I have no idea. Um, I have no idea how it's gonna. If the Bills are healthy, I'm picking the Bills. If they're not healthy, I'm picking Baltimore here. But everyone else is picking Buffalo. Next, we have the Chargers at Houston. Uh, Herbert is playing with fractured ribs right now, and you could tell it's been bothering him because Jacksonville took a mean shit on the Chargers last week, outscoring them 38-10. And the Chargers were supposed to be a potential Super Bowl contender. Like I said, I even put money on Justin Herbert to win MVP. So I don't know, but this game is not up for debate. Everyone is picking the Chargers here. Next, we have Arizona at Carolina. Everybody but Vegas has Arizona. I think Vegas has Carolina favored by 1 point right now. And Christian McCaffrey is questionable. Even if he was playing, I don't even think they would win the game. But without Christian McCaffrey, they're going to lose. Next, we have New England at Green Bay. Mac Jones is out for at least like 6 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain. New England has been struggling as a whole for the most part. And now without Mac Jones, Green Bay is going to feast. So everyone here is taking Green Bay. Next, we have Denver at Vegas. What the fuck is Denver? I don't even know what kind of team they are. Russell Wilson struggling. And they also played probably the most boring football game I've ever watched. That game, I never fall asleep during football games. But this Broncos and Niners game put me to fucking sleep. It was so fucking boring. And then you have Vegas, who have Josh McDaniels as their head coach. Now, I know I had the Raiders going, 14-3? I completely forgot that Josh McDaniels is their head coach. Josh McDaniels is not a good head coach. Just because you had Tom Brady, the greatest player to ever play football, on your team does not make you a good coach. When he was with Denver, he was mid. He was fucking terrible. The Raiders are the only team without a win this year. And I think that's going to change. I think they're going to beat Denver. And Vicente's the only one picking the Broncos here. I think this is where Vegas turns it around. Oh yeah, Davante Adams hasn't even been doing much for the he hasn't been doing much for the Raiders right now. Like, what are his stats? Let's take a look. Davante Adams is averaging 63 yards a game, 3 touchdowns in the season so far. So actually, that's not bad. So 17 catches, 189 yards, and 3 touchdowns in his 3 games. That's not bad, but I don't even know if he's like leading the Raiders in their respective categories. Let's take a look. Raiders are 2.5 point favorites, and they're 0-3. Yeah, Mac Hollins is leading the team in receiving yards. Yeah, Mac Hollins, the backpack kid, played for the Eagles. Hasn't really done much, but hey, whatever. Yeah, 158 yards on 8 catches and a touchdown against Tennessee. That's how fucking bad Tennessee is. You can't, I met Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins is a great dude. Classy guy. But yeah, he's leading the team in receiving yards right now. And he's only getting paid $645,000 this year. Now, for an average Joe, that's a lot of money. But for a fucking football player, that's, the veteran minimum. He leads the team in receiving yards and is getting paid a fraction of what Davante Adams is making. So, there's that for you. But yeah, I'm going with I'm going Vegas here. I think they're going to turn it around. Vicente is picking Denver. He's the only one picking Denver. Next, we have Kansas City at Tampa Bay. I don't know what the injury report's looking like for Tampa Bay right now, but I am picking Tampa Bay here. It's really tough. I really want to pick Kansas City, but I think Tampa Bay is going to pull it off. It's really difficult. It's a difficult pick for me right now on my sheet. Vegas, Vicente, and I have Tampa Bay. Sal, Anthony, and Matt, what a shocker, have Kansas City here. It's really tough. I can't really decide. If I had to really pick, though, I would probably. You know what? I don't even know. I'll probably pick Tampa Bay here. That's what I have on here. I might go with the Chiefs. It's really fucking tough. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Leave me alone. Next and final game of the week, the Rams against San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo looked like dog shit last week. So who knows what's going to happen. Actually, I know what's going to happen. The Niners are going to lose this game. The Rams are getting better. And yeah, right now Vegas has the Niners as favorites, but that's not phasing me, Vicente, Sal, Matt, and Anthony. We're all going with the Rams here. So those are it for week 4 picks. Holy shit, this has been going on for 27 minutes. So before I go, let's take a look at the overall rankings for all of us. Sal and Vegas are tied at 27 and 20. Anthony, myself, and Vicente are tied at 26 and 21. And then there's Matt, who is 21 and 26. Jesus. So yeah, that's how it's looking right now. Thank you guys for listening. This fucking sucks, dude. No internet. Whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will be back next week. Peace.